Hello everybody, how are you doing? In this video, I want to talk about 10 female telepath characters from movies. Alright, from time to time we see characters in the movies or TV series who have impressive psychic powers, sensitive to people's thoughts. However, if they are strong, they are able to influence other characters telepathically. So I have put together a list of 10 very strong female telepath characters from the movies. These women don't just sense thoughts, they have the staggering ability to actively influence or completely seize control of others. We will be looking at their power levels, their most exciting moments, and exactly how wildly they use their devastating abilities. Ready to dive into the minds of the movie's most powerful female telepaths? Let's go! Number 1. Elena from Beyond the Black Rainbow. The film is set in the Arborea Institute in the futuristic-looking year 1983. The institute's goal is achieving serenity through technology and human transcendence. The story centers on Elena, a young woman who has been held captive within the secluded institute for years. She is the main subject of research for the deeply disturbed and tyrannical Dr. Barry Nile. Elena is kept in near comatose isolation. Dr. Nile uses a glowing triangular prismatic device to emit a specific wavelength that dampens her mind and keeps her powers suppressed, indicating they are so vast they require advanced technology to be contained. As Nile's obsession and sadism escalate, he eventually removes the device controlling her. This unleashes Elena's powers, leading to a violent escape sequence. Elena possesses profound telepathic and telekinetic abilities that stem from her mother and father's experiments within the Arborea Institute. Her most overt power is the ability to manipulate objects and people with her mind. This is demonstrated when she telekinetically hurts the nurse, Margot, who had tried to antagonize her. She shows an ability to communicate mentally and appears to have deep telepathic abilities. She is also able to use her telepathy to control other people's minds. In short, Elena is a quiet, tragic figure who is also a psychic powerhouse, and the film is about her violent, psychedelic liberation from the man trying to control her unique mind. Number 2. Eve from Crawlspace. Crawlspace is an Australian science fiction action horror film centered around a secret military research facility at an Australian desert. After receiving a distress signal, a team of elite commandos, including their leader named Romeo, is dispatched to the base. Their orders are to extract a scientific team who are under attack by escaped prisoners. The commandos are instructed to shoot any prisoners they see on sight. As the soldiers navigate the facility's narrow crawl spaces and fight off monstrous creatures that have been unleashed, Romeo encounters a woman named Eve. Scientists warn the commandos that Eve and others in the facility have undergone an experimental treatment. Then it is revealed that the laboratory contains people who have been tinkered with to develop their psychic potential, also telepathic mind control abilities. In this movie, Eve is the central female figure and one of the experimental subjects in the facility. Her powers stem from the experimental treatment she underwent. She is described as having been turned into a powerful psychic remote viewer. She is capable of getting inside the minds of the soldiers as they navigate the crawl spaces. She can read minds of other people, plant thoughts and commands into the minds of other individuals, also telepathically pushing or controlling people's minds. She can also make other people believe that they are experiencing things which are actually not real, in other words, creating sensory illusions. Eve's telepathic powers get stronger as the story progresses, starting with planting a fake memory to other people's minds, all the way to telepathically mind control other people and dominating them. Number 3. Chloe from Freaks. The 2018 movie Freaks is a science fiction thriller that focuses on a family with superhuman abilities trying to survive in a world where they are hunted. The film begins with Chloe Lewis, a 7-year-old girl being kept locked in a boarded-up house by her father, Henry Lewis. Henry warns Chloe of grave dangers outside, claiming that bad people will kill them if they leave. This creates a psychological thriller environment where the audience questions whether Henry is protecting Chloe or if he is simply paranoid and unstable. So in this society, people with special abilities are referred as freaks, and in the movie it is revealed that there is an organization called the Mountain which hunts them down and kills them or imprisons them. Chloe's father Henry possesses the ability to manipulate time in his immediate area. He can slow down time entirely around himself and those he chooses to affect. He often uses his ability to create a time bubble to protect Chloe from danger, such as shielding her from an oncoming car or other threats. Chloe's grandfather possesses the ability of invisibility. He can turn himself completely invisible and can also extend this power to others through touch. Chloe is a telepath, meaning she can read minds. She first displays this by mentioning information she shouldn't know. Her most dramatic ability is the power to influence and control the brain functions of others, forcing them to do her bidding or manipulate their minds. For example, she compels a man to stab a woman's eye with his pen, so she can telepathically control the minds of people to make them do whatever she wants. Chloe shows an ability to simultaneously exist in another place or intrude on the sleep of others, suggesting a form of astral projection or creating mental intrusions. Number 4. Helena Monet from Scanners 3. Scanner movie series has a lot of characters possessing telepathic and telekinetic powers. Therefore, in this storyline, we see various scenes where characters enter other people's minds to read their thoughts or telepathically control the minds of other individuals to make them do whatever they want. Also, in Scanners movie series, we see that some of those scanners have telekinetic powers, manipulating things and people to move them around. Among those characters, I believe that Helena Monet is the most prominent one and the strongest scanner of all. In this story, scanners are people who are very sensitive to other people's thoughts around them. So if they are present in a crowded area, they may get overwhelmed by the torrent of those thoughts. Helena is one of those scanners. She is struggling to manage her telepathic powers. Initially, this was a source of great pain and distress for her due to the overwhelming volume of intrusive thoughts manifesting as debilitating migraines. Her father is a scientist who is working on a special medication which is supposed to help scanners handle the overload of other people's thoughts around them. However, one day, while Helena is having an intense difficulty managing her power, having one of those painful migraines out of hopelessness, she ends up using her father's unfinished experimental medicine to ease her own pain. Her pain is gone and everything is back to normal. However, because of the drug she uses, her personality drastically changes, making her aggressive, malevolent, psychotic, megalomaniacal, a control-obsessed person and driven by world-conquering urges. Then we see those changes in her by witnessing her interaction with other characters in the movie. Because her personality is changed, she simply stops holding back and starts using her powers on other people. Helena Monet is a powerful telepath who has the ability to read the thoughts of others. She can implant thoughts and commands into the minds of others, compelling them to act against their will or telepathically make them do whatever she wants. After taking her father's drug, she uses her power to command others to commit violent acts and follow her orders without question. By focusing her mental energy on another individual, she can overload their central nervous system. This results in extreme pain and physical damage. After taking the drug, she demonstrates an enhanced ability to interface with technology. Her ultimate plan involves using her psychic energy through a broadcast medium like television to induce mass mental overload in viewers globally. In other words, telepathically controlling the minds of a large mass of people. She is also a very strong telekinetic. She has the ability to move and manipulate objects with her mind. We see this initially in the movie when she's trying to protect herself and her friend from a gang of street mobsters. Number 5. Minnie Rourke from Hypnotic. The 2023 movie Hypnotic is a science fiction thriller that revolves around a world where individuals with powerful mind-controlling abilities exist in secret. In this movie, hypnotics possess superhuman mind-controlling abilities that go far beyond conventional hypnosis. They can bend other people's will, convince them to commit crimes, and fully control their actions. Their most powerful ability is creating sophisticated, elaborate hypnotic constructs, entire false realities that can trick other people into believing they are somewhere else doing things they are not with people who are not real. Minnie, the daughter of 2 master hypnotics, is revealed to be the most powerful hypnotic of all time. She has the ability to instantly reprogram minds using focused mental commands. She is one of the few individuals known as hypnotics who possess this extremely rare supernatural psychic ability. She can implant complex and detailed instructions into a person's subconscious mind with her telepathic power. These commands can override core memories, personality traits, and behaviors. The affected individuals genuinely believe the false reality created for them. She creates and maintains very realistic, elaborate, convincing, shared realities for multiple individuals simultaneously. She can make a person see, hear, or feel things that are not there, or prevent them from perceiving things that are real. She has supreme control over all the people she has programmed. They follow her commands without hesitation. Number 6. Jean Grey from X-Men movies. Jean Grey is a mutant from X-Men comics and she is a member of the X-Men mutant group. In the movie, she is a telepath with strong telekinetic powers. She is able to move very large objects around, create a protective force field using her telekinesis, and move other people around. In X-Men movies, we see her using her telepathy to communicate others from a distance, reading other characters' minds, putting other people into sleep using her telepathy, cloaking herself and her friends from hostile forces, and that's pretty much it. In the X-Men comics, however, Jean Grey is one of the most powerful telepaths. She is able to use her telepathy in different ways as mind communication, mind reading, mind transfer, mind detection, psychic surgery, casting near flawless illusions, project her astral form, control the astral plane, create psychic links with other beings, and mind manipulation. She is able to manipulate minds in different ways as mind control, mind possession, hypnosis, induce paralysis, modify or erase someone's memories, amnesia, prevent other mutant to use his powers, increase another mutant's powers, cause pain to others, change someone's personality telepathically. At close range, Jean can manipulate any number of minds at once. Jean can also mentally injure, stun or kill opponents with bolts of pure psionic force. Her psionic powers are so strong that they can bypass numerous forms of immunity and resistance. Jean Grey is also able to protect her mind and another person's mind from mind intrusion. Her defensive telepathy allows her to cloak minds from other people. In comics, besides manipulating large objects and people with her telekinesis, she can generate force fields of telekinetic energy. She can use a personal force field of telekinetic energy. She can emit blasts of telekinetic energy. She is also able to fly using her telekinesis. Alright, at that point I want to talk about the correlation between Jean Grey and the Phoenix Force. In early versions of X-Men movies, Jean Grey is portrayed like she has this insanely powerful potential inside her, coming from her birth. As the story goes, that potential is revealed more and more, and she ends up being staggeringly powerful, so she is unable to control herself, causing widespread destruction. They did the same thing in recent versions of X-Men movies, showing that Jean Grey has been born with this unbelievable potential inside her, which must be controlled and repressed all times by herself. And when she releases that power, she becomes a telekinetically and telepathically unstoppable character. Then, in the movie X-Men Dark Phoenix, they introduced a plot twist where this potential of Jean Grey gets even more increased because she ends up being exposed to cosmic radiation in a space mission. So, because this cosmic radiation changed her in a fundamental way, her telepathy and telekinesis gets gradually stronger and stronger, making her one of the most powerful entities in the galaxy. Later in the movie, we see that she is able to control any object or person with her telekinesis, being able to crush any object without even trying, regardless of which material they were built from. She gets so powerful that she is able to change the molecular structure of any object or any person, or even disintegrate them just by using her mental power. In the X-Men comic, Jean Grey is a powerful telekinetic and a strong telepath. In one of X-Men Comics' early storylines, while returning from a space mission to Earth, X-Man is forced to use a space shuttle which has a destroyed flight computer and a big hole in its hull. And what is worse, they have to go through the cosmic radiation in that journey. The X-Man is secured in a protective room in the shuttle, so they are not going to be affected by the cosmic radiation. So Jean Grey patches the hole in the shuttle's hull using her telekinesis and pilots the shuttle. As they go through the cosmic radiation, Jean Grey uses all of her telekinetic power to put a force field around herself, but this was not enough for the cosmic rays she was exposed to. After going through the cosmic rays and entering the atmosphere, the shuttle crashes into the ocean, and then Jean Grey emerges from the water as kind of like an upgraded, more powerful character, Phoenix. The comic indicated that this change in her is the result of the cosmic radiation. But years later, they added a new twist to this story. They revealed that while Jean Grey was going through the cosmic radiation, this radiation had an intensely detrimental and mortal effect on her body. So her body gets damaged beyond repair. She is dying. Then suddenly an entity appears in front of her, an entity of unbelievable power. That entity is called Phoenix. Phoenix offers Jean Grey that if she merges with the Phoenix Force, she can live. She doesn't have to die. Then they merge together and Jean Grey becomes Phoenix. So Jean Grey becomes Phoenix not because of the cosmic radiation, but because Phoenix is a separate entity and Jean Grey is merged with her. In Marvel Comics, Phoenix Force is an immensely powerful cosmic entity. Rather than having a personality, this cosmic force is more likely a huge potential which seeks for hosts to express its power. Phoenix is the nexus of all psionic energy in all realities of the multiverse. What the Phoenix Force can do, especially when it bonds with a host, such as Jean Grey, it has the power to destroy entire planets, stars, and even realities. Conversely, it can also create new life and reconstruct the universe. It can manipulate energy and matter on a cosmic scale, giving its hosts nigh omnipotent power. The Phoenix Force grants its host immensely powerful psionic abilities, including the ability to read minds and communicate psychically across vast distances. Also grants the ability to move and manipulate objects with the mind. Phoenix Force has an expanded knowledge and awareness of events across the universe and multiverse. Also has the ability to foresee the future. The Phoenix Force itself is immortal and indestructible. If harmed, it can reform. Phoenix Force manifests as a fiery bird, and its power often involves intense concussive force blasts capable of destroying planetary bodies. It can travel across the Marvel multiverse. In essence, the Phoenix Force is a cosmic entity with the power to shape and reshape the universe, for better or for worse, depending on whether the host can control its destructive impulse. Phoenix is so strong that in the Excalibur series of Marvel Comics, it went on a fight with Galactus himself to prevent him from feeding on the energy of a habitable planet which bears life. Galactus is a very powerful cosmic entity who from time to time absorbs energies of planets containing life to satisfy his hunger, and Phoenix prevailed against Galactus in this fight, defeating him. In the X-Men comics, towards the end of the Krakoan Age, Jean Grey actually fought a nearly omnipotent cosmic entity called the Dominion, using the Phoenix Force. Dominion is an unbelievably powerful entity, so powerful that he can find, change, or destroy anything and anybody in the entire time and in the entire universe, also being able to reshape the reality itself. Jean Grey uses all of her Phoenix Force and all potential power around her to fight and defeat the Dominion. Number 7. Emma Frost from X-Men First Class. Emma Frost is a powerful mutant and telepath from X-Men comics, and she's a member of the X-Men mutant group. In the movie X-Men First Class, she can enter into people's heads and read minds. She is able to mentally attack a character and cause them pain. She can also alter the perception of an individual to make them believe that they are experiencing something which is actually not happening. She has a secondary mutation where she can turn her body into some kind of organic diamond, so she is pretty much impervious to physical attacks. However, in the X-Men comics, she is a more powerful and experienced telepath. Her psionic powers allow her to perform several features such as mental communication, mind reading, mind control, induced paralysis, possession, hypnosis, pain stimulation, illusion casting, astral projection, psychic surgery, and by collecting ambient psionic energy, she can create powerful psionic lightning bolts that can attack on a physical or mental level and are capable of rendering a person unconscious or even killing them. Using her telepathy, she can also psionically shut off another mutant's telepathy. Just like in the movie, she can turn her body into an organic diamond material in the comics as well. Number 8. Psylocke from X-Men Apocalypse. Psylocke is a mutant from the X-Men comics and she is a member of the X-Men. She is a very strong telepath in the X-Men comics. In the movie X-Men Apocalypse, she is portrayed as an agile fighter character who can create a telekinetic whip or sword of some sort. This is not entirely wrong, because in the X-Men comic, there was a time when she actually lost her telepathic powers, where she also became immune to telepathic powers like mind reading or mind control. Instead, she gained insane levels of telekinesis in forms like a sword or creating shockwaves. Later in the comics, she regained her telepathy back. In the movie, she is portrayed as an enemy of the X-Men group, fighting alongside Apocalypse against the X-Men. In the movie, we can see that she has a telekinetic power of some sort. She is able to use her telekinesis to create tangible items like a whip and a very sharp sword. In the comics, however, she is a very powerful telepath. She is able to psychically scan vast distances to learn the status, condition, or intentions of others. She can randomly and infrequently perceive visions of future events. She can also establish a psychic network to connect with the minds of team members for effective mental communication. She is so strong that she is able to project herself and other non-telepath characters into the astral plane. She can also operate on the astral plane, can go into psionic battles with other telepaths on astral level. Psylocke can shoot a focused beam of telepathic energy at an opponent, knocking them physically while attacking them mentally. She can create blasts of pure psychic energy that can stun, injure, or kill. Using her telepathic powers, she is able to mind control other characters, able to project illusions, reading and projecting thoughts over long distances, controlling and suppressing others' powers. She can create a psychic knife, which is all of her telepathic powers focused into her hand. With the knife, Psylocke could excite the pain receptors in her opponents, and while not actually damaging tissue, the knife could scramble or damage their minds, or even kill, depending on the amount of power she used. When stabbed in the head of an enemy or a friend, the knife allows Psylocke to read the thoughts of her opponent and in some cases become connected to them. Number 9. Judge Anderson from Dredd. The film is set in a dystopian future where the entire east coast of the United States has become Megacity 1, a vast crime-ridden metropolis. The only force for order is the judges, who serve as judge, jury, and executioner. The legendary and fearsome Judge Dredd is tasked with evaluating a new recruit, Cassandra Anderson, who is a genetic mutant who possesses powerful psychic abilities, a telepath, classifying her as a psionic judge. Telepathy is her main and most frequent used ability. She can instantly read the thoughts and emotions of others. She uses this to get critical information from suspects and to know when people are lying or about to attack. She can perceive the emotions of others, allowing her to sense fear, anger, or even concealed feelings. While mostly used for reading minds, her powers also allow her to penetrate deeply into a subject's mind, creating a perceived reality or planting thoughts. This intense mental intrusion causes significant pain to both her and the subject. The film portrays Anderson's abilities to fit the movie's grim, action-focused tone, making her primarily a tactical asset. The comic version, however, possesses a much broader, more esoteric range of psychic abilities that frequently involve spiritual and temporal elements. The movie focuses almost entirely on telepathy, like reading intentions, scanning for threats, sensing fear, and a limited combat scan to briefly stun or disorient opponents. But in the comic, her powers are far more varied, including strong precognition, seeing the future, mediumship, astral projection, and advanced psychic combat. In the movie, her precognition is restricted to immediate present tense sensory perception, like knowing someone is behind a wall. But in the comics, her precognition is a major central power. She regularly sees visions of future catastrophic events and personal destinies, which is a key source of her anxiety and moral conflict. The film omits all supernatural and spiritual aspects of her powers to maintain a grounded sci-fi realism. In the comics, she often deals with ghosts, demons, and entities from other dimensions, tying her deeply into the spiritual and horror elements of the Dredd universe. In the movie, her psychic abilities are used as a supportive combat tool to momentarily distract enemies for Dredd. In the comics, however, her psychic combat is more varied, used for targeted mental attacks, creating mental shields and detailed interrogations that can be psychologically devastating. In summary, the film portrays Anderson as a skilled, tactical judge with a useful psychic sense, while the comics depict her as a powerful, tortured oracle constantly bombarded by the thoughts of the living and the dead and the visions of the future. Number 10. Cassandra Nova from Deadpool and Wolverine. In the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, Cassandra Nova is classified as an Omega-level mutant and the twin sister of Charles Xavier, who was pruned by the TVA to the void due to her destructive powers. She is a powerful telepath. In the movie, her telepathy is primarily tactile, meaning she often needs physical contact to effectively delve into a person's mind and memories. She also has strong telekinetic abilities, moving large objects and people around. She has telekinetic regeneration, a highly effective healing factor explicitly tied to her telekinetic control over her own body. However, in the X-Men comics, she is a Mumudrai, a parasitic life born from bodiless on the astral plane that seeks to mimic and destroy its host, in her case Charles Xavier. In X-Men comics, she is by far a lot stronger compared to how she is in the movie. She possesses vast, non-tactile telepathy, often considered more powerful than Professor Xavier's. Her vast psionic powers are capable of reading the minds of others as long as they don't possess any kind of telepathic or psychic defenses. She can project her thoughts into the minds of others within a long, vast ranged distance. Cassandra Nova is one of the most powerful telepaths on the Earth. She can mask her presence and the presence of others from being detected by other telepaths, can control the minds of other people upon mere concentration. She is also able to alter personalities of other people. She can use telepathic cloaks and astral projection. On astral plane, she can go into psionic battles with other telepaths, and she can also take over other people's bodies. Her telekinesis is very strong. Cassandra Nova can use her telekinesis to levitate herself and others in mid-air through the sheer force of her own will and move around at high speeds. She is able to create powerful telekinetic force fields around herself in order to defend herself and others while repelling against incoming attacks. Cassandra Nova is able to project her mental energy at a specific target, through which she can release devastating force blasts of telekinetic energy powerful enough to disintegrate normal humans. She has regenerative abilities comparable to Wolverine's, which are a function of her psionic abilities. If injured, Cassandra Nova's metabolism can allow her to rapidly regenerate and heal from large amounts of damaged or even destroyed bodily tissue hundreds of times faster and with more efficiency than a normal human, regardless of the cause. That's it. If you want to add more female telepath characters to this list, please write them down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.